This is CBN NewsWatch.
It is Wednesday, February 17, 2021. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ephraim Graham. We begin this half hour with the deadly weather. More than 20 people have lost their lives in the winter monster storm. Millions are without power in hard-hit Texas, where another ice storm is on its way. Charlene Aaron has a look at what else lies ahead for 3/4 of the country already covered in snow.
More than 73% of the nation is covered in snow. Millions of homes and businesses are without power, with the forecast calling for more snow and ice. In Texas, millions remain in the cold and the dark as the state's energy grid struggles to cope. Natural gas, wind, and nuclear facilities knocked offline, and it could be days before they're back online. Many pointing the finger at ERCOT, the nonprofit organization that controls most of the state's energy.
This was a total failure by ERCOT. They showed that they were not reliable.
Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church opening its doors as a warming center. The Salvation Army also helping storm victims.
Right now, the Salvation Army is opening or assisting with a number of cold weather shelters and warming centers. We're distributing hot food through our mobile canteens and through our existing facilities.
Overnight, the storm dumped more snow on the Midwest. In Oklahoma, the capital recording its coldest temperature in more than a century Tuesday. So far, more than 20 deaths have been reported as a result of the dangerous weather, including a woman and an 8-year-old girl who died in their garage trying to stay warm in a running car. Devastation in North Carolina as dozens of homes were destroyed and 3 people were killed and at least 10 injured as a tornado tore through. More wicked weather is on its way today, with ice and snow hitting Texas and Louisiana before moving north.
This ice storm that's coming is going to be vicious in East Texas and Louisiana on Wednesday. Now, that'll be mainly snow from Dallas northward on into Texarkana. 3 to 6 inch snowstorm. It looks like D.C. to Boston change to sleet and freezing rain.
Forecasters say the storms will continue to batter the country throughout the week before clearing out over the weekend. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Pro-life advocate Abby Johnson lives in Texas. She and her family are just one example of the thousands socked in by the storm. She's on the phone with us for a first-hand account. So, Abby, what are you and your family experiencing?
Well, thanks for having me on. Well, we finally got power back yesterday. We had been without it for 48 hours. We had gotten a text message, actually, when the power first went out. They said that they were going to have us on rolling blackouts, which we had expected. They said that the rolling blackout should be less than 40 minutes, and 48 hours later, we still didn't have power. So we were without power. We've also been without water now for over 48 hours. We have not been told when we will get power back. We have bathtubs full of melted snow. We are using that to, fill our toilets so that we can flush the toilet. We are about to start washing clothes with boiled snow water. We're just, we're making the best of it and doing what we can. So. But we're being told now by the gas company, Atmos, that they're really at critical consumption levels. So right now we're just praying that our gas doesn't get shut off. If our gas gets shut off, if Atmos shuts off our gas, then we're going to be back to square one with, millions of people without heat. So even if our electric's back, then we'll lose heat.
No.
So, yeah, if it's not one thing, it's another.
It's pretty dangerous. What are you hearing about help for those in need in the area?
So, I know that our Governor, Greg Abbott, did send out the Texas National Guard. They've been helping a lot of people who are stranded, people who are elderly. But you know what, I'm going to be honest, people have just been helping each other. We've been encouraging people, check in on the elderly. We've been checking in on our elderly neighbors. For the past few days, we drive a huge van. We drive a big Nissan NV that does pretty well on the roads. The roads are very dangerous right now. We've got 1.5 inches of ice on the roads. People really need to stay in if they can. But I've made several trips out. I delivered formula to a mom who was stranded at a hotel with her 4-month-old baby. Yesterday I went out and delivered bottled water to a mom who had formula but no water for her baby. I'm about to go deliver firewood to a blind man who doesn't have power. So we're just out, Texans helping Texans right now.
Oh, thank you so much, Abby. Good to see that you're being the hand and feet of Jesus in this. Thank you so much for your time. Stay warm and safe. We're praying for everyone in this winter freeze for sure. We want to continue our winter weather with a closer look at the forecast. AccuWeather meteorologist Mark Mancuso joins us now with the latest on the forecast for the entire country.
Unfortunately, another major storm is on the way. We find it swinging out of the southern plains, slides its way up through the Tennessee and Ohio River valleys and over to the mid-Atlantic states and northeast. This will be a disruptive storm to travelers and to property owners, as we'll see a significant buildup of snow and ice. And we also have the potential for severe thunderstorms. And along the Gulf Coast, we'll be looking at powerful thunderstorms erupting by Wednesday night. And Thursday, we'll see those stronger storms head from North Florida to South Georgia and up to the coast of South Carolina. Damaging winds and a few tornadoes will be possible in these areas, so we'll have to be vigilant for these storms. Now, here are the arrival times of the snow and the ice, and we can see it here pushing up to the Ohio and Tennessee valleys by this evening. And by the morning hours, the snow and ice will be spreading into the mid-Atlantic states. Could be a slippery morning commute from Philadelphia to the Baltimore, Washington area. That snow will be arriving in Boston by the evening hours here on Thursday. Taking a look at the snowfall amounts, it'll be a moderate snowfall here through the Ohio Valley into the Midwest, but snow's a little bit more significant here in the mid-Atlantic states into southern and central New England. We'll see a large area of 6 inches plus, so 6 to 12 inches of snow here. Lesser amounts, but still disruptive, Philadelphia and to Baltimore, Washington. And here we'll start to see a changeover to a wintry mix. We're talking sleet and freezing rain. Areas that were hard hit over the past weekend, the ice causing power outages will be hit hard again, parts of North Carolina into Virginia. Storm will be lingering into the northeast on Friday. Still some snow in the air from New York City up towards Boston, a little farther to the south, where they'll be quieting down. That Arctic air, that'll slowly relax its grip in Texas, but it will follow the storm into the northeast. Back to you.
Right, need a break indeed. Former President Donald Trump blistered Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell Tuesday, calling him a political hack. That statement came days after McConnell denounced the president as the inciter of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Although McConnell voted to acquit Trump in the impeachment trial. Trump said the Republican Party can never again be respected or strong with political leaders like Senator Mitch McConnell at its helm. Mitch is a dour, sullen, and unsmiling political hack. And if Republican senators are going to stay with him, they will not win again. CBN News chief political analyst David Brody says Trump's reaction to McConnell should not come as a surprise.
Look, President Trump, the former president, doesn't hold back, and he didn't again. And now Mitch McConnell has become basically the new Jeff Sessions. Remember the former attorney general that had a falling out with the president, and now clearly there's a falling out here. But I think it's not just a falling out, it really is a fault line here. You know, what Republican Party do you belong to today if you're a Republican? Are you in the Donald Trump wing? Are you in the Mitch McConnell wing? And by the way, that Mitch McConnell wing includes Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse and a few other traditional establishment Republicans. By the way, the Trump folks, if you're on the Trump side, you're calling those people not traditional establishment Republicans, you're calling them rhinos, Republican in name only. And so I basically, you know, Trump's letter was a clarion call here to basically say, look, it's kickball time, and you're in the yard there, the schoolyard, and it's time to choose sides. If you're a conservative in this.
Radio commentator and talk show host Rush Limbaugh has died at the age of 70 after battling advanced lung cancer. For decades, he hosted the Rush Limbaugh Show, which boasted the largest audience in radio. With his booming voice and command of the English language, Rush Limbaugh articulated conservatism in a way that offered depth to what his millions of listeners were already thinking. President Trump honored him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom during his last State of the Union address. He leaves behind his wife, Catherine Adams, his longtime radio staff, and a legion of devoted listeners. We'll have a full report on Limbaugh's life and conservative legacy tonight on Faith Nation. He was known as part evangelist, part showman. Christian music artist Carmen Litradella, known to fans simply as Carmen, has died at the age of 65. An update on his Facebook page reports he died at a Las Vegas hospital after complications from surgery to repair a hiatal hernia. Caitlin Burke has a look at the many reactions to his death that continue to pour in.
Tributes are pouring in from those whose lives and faith were influenced by iconic Christian artist Carmen. Christian hip-hop artist Toby Mac tweeting out, "You were so kind to me, Michael, and Kevin. When we were young punks, you welcomed us. You are home now." Two-time Grammy winner and Christian music artist Jason Crabb said, quote, "He was a trendsetter and a trailblazer who had a vision to impact his audience with groundbreaking music and storytelling through powerful cinematic videos, all with one purpose, to point people to Jesus." Rascal Flatts member Jay DeMarcus recalled touring with Carmen in the 90s, saying of his friend, "It would be hard to fathom how many millions were led to Christ through his music and ministry. He will be missed, but never forgotten." Back in 2013, Carmen was diagnosed with incurable multiple myeloma cancer. He experienced several years of recovery before reporting last year that the cancer had returned.
When they told me that I had, multiple myeloma cancer, like, it didn't hit me like others might think it would, because I thought, well, if I've done my part, if I fulfilled my purpose, if I've run my course, and this is how I exit, then so be it.
3 weeks ago, he underwent hernia surgery, and his team reported that because of the effects of cancer, his body was having a hard time recovering. In announcing Carmen's death on February 16th, his manager Matt Feltz said, "This world has lost a light in the darkness, but today Carmen saw firsthand the fruits of his labors." Among other awards and honors, Carmen was inducted into the GMA Gospel Music Hall of Fame in 2018. But those who knew him say his greatest lifetime achievement was winning souls to Christ. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
To have sex before you marry is a bad idea. Don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence.
That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Watch Dan and Dale tackle trending topics that test your faith on the next Faith Wire, Monday night at 9:30. The Global Lane takes you around the world, providing facts over fiction.
What might rising trade and geopolitical tensions mean for you on the home front?
With over 45 years of experience, award-winning journalist Gary Lane brings you the truth from a global angle.
What about the issue of immigration?
World news analysis you won't see anywhere else.
And it's all right here on the Global Lane.
Watch The Global Lane, Thursday night at 9:30.
Tens of thousands of demonstrators flooded the streets of Myanmar's biggest cities today in what was the largest protest since a military coup there. Despite threats of arrest by the military, residents of Yangon and Mandalay used cars to block major intersections and continued their demands that all civilian leaders under house arrest be released immediately. CBN senior international correspondent George Thomas joins us now with more on this unfolding crisis. So, George, this morning in Yangon, more than 1,000 Christians showed up in front of the U.S. Embassy. What happened?
That's right. They appeared right in front of the embassy. They were praying, they were singing, declaring Myanmar is for Christ and urging the military officials to release all civilian leaders. They've not only joined the crowds over the last 2 weeks, but they've gone all around the city, joining with Buddhists and other minority faith groups around the country, asking for peace and unity to hover over their nation.
Today's protests are the largest so far since the coup. How did the military respond?
Yeah, I mean, the concern from the United Nations and other human rights groups is that, over the last 48 hours, the Myanmar military has also increased their number of troops on the streets. And today was the largest, as you mentioned in your report, primarily because the military chiefs took to the airwaves yesterday for the first time since the coup back in February 1st. Saying that, these protesters are going to diminish and the folks are going to go back to work. And so today they came out in droves, the largest since the coup, sending a very clear message that they are there to stay and stay for the long haul.
George, Myanmar's military leaders want to pass a sweeping cybersecurity law. So what's in that?
That's right. Talking to my sources early this morning in Myanmar, they said that if this cybersecurity law were to pass, it would mean that Myanmar could be the next Iran or North Korea. And we both know that in both these countries, the restrictions on freedom of speech, on telecommunications, on the internet are severe. And that's the question going down the road in terms of what kind of authority the military chiefs will exert in the days and weeks ahead.
So Muslims there are keeping a close eye on this unfolding political crisis. What are they most concerned about?
Yeah, I mean, the Rohingya Muslims, they're a minority group. And back in 2017, the Myanmar military launched an military offensive against them and drove hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims into neighboring Bangladesh. And the concern is that their plight will continue to go ignored, and their suffering and their challenges will persist. Obviously, there's a lot of concern going forward and uncertainty for this particular minority faith group, but not just for the Rohingya Muslims, but pretty much all of Myanmar today is in the middle of a unfolding crisis, and the future truly remains uncertain.
All right, George Thomas, thank you so much for this important update. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Want to be a part of a community that inspires your spiritual growth while winning prizes? The all-new MyCBN app. Connect with the community for prayer and encouragement. Track and set spiritual goals. Enjoy conversation starters with friends and family. And collect points to win prizes. The all-new MyCBN app. A great place to belong. Download the app at cbn.com/mobile. Grow, connect, have fun. The all-new MyCBN app.
On the home front.
Thanks for joining us for CBN's On the Home Front, where we highlight what the men and women of America's military do to defend our country. CBN honors the men and women in our military with an initiative called Helping the Home Front. It partners with churches across the country to meet the needs of their military families, from repairing homes to wiping out medical bills for wounded veterans.
Watch On the Home Front today at 2:30.
Too often, we carry baggage from our past. You know what it's like. It affects everything and everyone in our lives. It's always there, weighing us down and keeping us from achieving true happiness. But do you know God never meant for us to be trapped in the past? You can be free of your baggage. Learn how God's forgiveness leads to changed lives and new beginnings. Call the 700 Club.
Ancient remedies for modern ailments. It's a growing trend in medicine. Herbs, supplements, essential oils, and foods are used to treat around 75 conditions. Some of these natural treatments can be traced all the way back to Father Abraham. Medical reporter Lori Johnson shows us more.
Since its inception, many have called modern medicine a gift from God. Sometimes, however, we look back to the treatments of our ancestors.
Up until 150 years ago, when somebody used the word medicine, it typically didn't mean a synthetic medicine. It typically meant an herb or spice like ginger or frankincense and all of these things that are referenced in the Bible today. That's what we meant by medicine.
In his new book, Ancient Remedies, Dr. Josh Axe recommends herbs, supplements, essential oils, and foods to treat about 75 different conditions.
For instance, if somebody is struggling with hypothyroidism, I go through those top 5 herbs so people know exactly what to do. If somebody has Alzheimer's, I go through what to do. If somebody has inflammation, heart disease, diabetes, chronic pain, hormone imbalance, I go through all of those things in there.
Some date back to the dawn of civilization.
But actually, it's believed that Abraham actually taught a lot of these natural ways of healing using different herbs and foods to support healing. And that actually is the basis of Chinese or different types of Asian medicine.
Many of us are okay with medicines that are made in a lab, but if given the choice, might prefer something a little more natural.
Man-made drugs often began as imitations of their natural counterparts.
For instance, take white willow bark. That's where they got the idea for aspirin. White willow bark helps naturally thin the blood, reduces pain naturally, is anti-inflammatory. Well, aspirin is actually taken from that, but these pharmaceutical companies wanted to save money, so they started making it themselves that are synthetic.
As we've reported, that process can result in side effects like nutritional deficiencies.
Diabetes drugs actually pull coenzyme Q10 from your body and certain other B vitamins. So if you're on a diabetic drug, it increases your risk of a heart attack and stroke. If you have taken an antibiotic drug, it kills the good bacteria in your body, those probiotics, and it also depletes your body of zinc.
Dr. Axe maintains, regardless of the disease, the first step towards healing involves building a better gut, since that's where most of our immune system resides.
The foods that are most healing to the gut, number one is bone broth. The reason being, bone broth is made up of 90% collagen, and your gut itself is made up of around 70% collagen. So you have to have collagen in order for it to heal.
What to avoid?
Pretty much gluten, dairy, and sugar are the things that will most weaken our immune systems.
We can also boost our body's defenses by balancing hormones, lowering stress, and getting a good night's sleep. He says, believe it or not, marijuana's sober cousin, CBD, can do all 3.
So there's 2 main compounds found in hemp, which are CBD and THC. THC is that sort of, that's that compound that can cause hallucinogenic effects where people hear about getting high. CBD is a completely different compound.
So while drug companies churn out their pills, Dr. Josh Axe points to nature and describes how we, like people centuries before us, can use the remedies there to cure what ails us. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Still to come, a look at the late singer Carmen's most popular song and his powerful performance of Champion. Stay with us.
Are you suffering from feeling tired or worn out during the day? Can you not turn off your brain at night? You are not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bruce, the Sleep Doctor, and I've partnered with the Christian Broadcasting Network, and we're going to bring you some unbelievable information that you can use tonight to get a better night's rest.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com to get your free copy of Protect Your Sleep today.
Nutrition, exercise, essential oils, weight loss, and more. It's Healthy Living with Lori Johnson.
Talk about what's in this.
Join CBN Health reporter Lori Johnson to get the latest information from today's top health experts.
This is fantastic.
Find out what you need to know to live a healthier life. Watch Healthy Living, Tuesday night at 9:30.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh, no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Millsburg Falls man, come.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes, too. And so much more! Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon! It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Earlier in this newscast, we told you about the death of famed Christian musician Carmen. We want to leave you with a look at one of his most popular songs called Champion. As you can imagine, it's performed with passion and a zeal for Christ.
How many know Jesus is the champion of our faith? The audience for the fight of the ages was assembled and in place. The angels came in splendor from a star. The saints that had gone before were there. Jeremiah, Enoch, Job. They were singing the song of Zion on David's harp. The demons arrived, offensive and vile, cursing and blaspheming God, followed by their trophies, dead and gone. Hitler, Napoleon, Pharaoh, Capone, tormented, vexed, and grieved, and waiting for their judgment from the throne. Then a chill swept through the mammoth crowd, and the demons squealed with glee as a sordid, vulgar, repulsive essence was felt. Arrogantly prancing, hands held high, draped in a sparkling shroud, trolled by demons, Satan ascended from hell. Then Satan cringed, sinners groaned, demons reeled in pain as a swell of power like silent thunder rolled. With a surge of light beyond intent, illuminating the universe, in